For this problem, we're going to continue using lines and rules on the coordinate plane, but this time we're going to be solving a real world problem. Let's go ahead and read this problem to see what it's about. Victoria is the class treasurer and must choose an end of year gift for each 7th grader. T-shirts will cost $4 each and water bottles will cost $2 each. Complete the tables to show the cost of 2, 5, 10, and 15 of each item. Graph both as the coordinate plane. Write a statement comparing the cost of t-shirts and water bottles. Whew, that's a lot of information. Let's read this one more time so that we can annotate and figure out what they actually want us to do. Victoria is the class treasurer and must choose an end-of-year gift for each 7th grader. T-shirts will cost $4 each. All right, so I know the cost of the t-shirts will be $4 each. And water bottles will cost $2 each. And the next pieces of information are really nice because they kind of bullet pointed off for us, so it's a little bit easier to understand. Complete the tables to show the cost of 2, 5, 10, and 15 of each item. Then you're going to graph both on the coordinate plane. Lastly, you will write a statement comparing the cost of t-shirts and water bottles. Let's start with these nice tables that they give us. Notice how they're labeling the tables. The first table is going to represent our t-shirts. The second table is going to represent our water bottles. In the last problem, it was just a plain straightforward problem, and so we labeled our tables as line A and line B. However, with this problem, it's a word problem. It's a real world problem. And so we really have to annotate and make sure that we're labeling everything so that we know what each section represents. Make sure that in your notebooks, you are labeling your t-shirts and your water bottles. The second thing I'm going to do to make these tables really nice is to label what X stands for and what Y stands for. In this problem, my X is going to represent each item. X is easy. They already gave us what each X value is going to be. So X is number of items. And you can put that for your table on both of these. Your Y is going to be your cost. How much total money are you going to be spending for those items? And now let's get started with your tables. I'm noticing that they're asking for our rule. Let's go ahead and look back at the information we have about the t-shirts. T-shirts will cost $4 each. So for each t-shirt, you are spending $4. If you're buying one t-shirt, you're spending $4. If you're buying 2 t-shirts, that's like spending $4 twice. And so you're doing the same thing over and over again. You're spending $4, $4, $4, $4. When you're doing repeated addition, that's the same thing as multiplication. So the rule for the t-shirts is Y is 4 times X. That's the written way. If you want to write it as a numerical expression, you would do it as Y equals X times 4. Another way to represent multiplication that we had spoken about in the beginning of the school years is by putting that dot in between. It would look weird if you put x4, which is Y, when you get to 7th and 8th grade, and maybe even 6th grade, you're going to represent multiplication as that little dot. All right, and let's fill in the actual values for the t-shirts. So they want to know how much you're going to spend for 2, 5, 10, and 15 of the t-shirts. And your rule is times 4. So each time I'm going to multiply X by 4. 2 times 4 would give you 8. So I know for the first one, if I bought 2 t-shirts, I would spend $8. And make sure you have your ordered pair. 5 t-shirts times my $4 would give me 20. 10 times 4 would give me 40. And 15 times 4 would give me 60. We now have all of the X and Y values for the t-shirts. Let's move on to the water bottles. Again, they're already telling me that I'm going to buy 2, 5, 10, and 15 of the water bottles. We do need to figure out our rule, however. Let's go back and look at our information for the water bottles. Water bottles will cost $2 each. So again, you're doing the same thing over and over and over again. I am multiplying by 2. Y is 2 times X. And if you want to be fancy and write this as a numerical expression, you would write Y equals X, that little dot, 2. So each time to find Y, I will be multiplying by 2. For the first one, 2 times 2 is 4. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 times 2 is 20. I wrote that one wrong, sorry. And lastly, 15 times 2 is 30. My tables are filled out, they're labeled, they look beautiful. Let's look at the second thing we have to do. Now they actually want us to graph both on the coordinate plane. Let's start with our t-shirts. The first thing, actually even before we need to graph, we're going to be looking at our coordinate plane. What are we counting up by? What's the units? Because I see a lot of blank spaces. And I'm noticing that to get from 0 to 5, I just need to count up by ones. So I'm just going to very quickly label my coordinate plane. In your notebooks, for each of the problems that ask you, you should be graphing these coordinates. You don't need to draw the grid lines. You could just label, like I'm doing on the bottom, the x-axis and then the y-axis, and that's fine. You could also print out graphing paper that I attached to the assignment. All right, getting started. So the first thing I'm going to graph are the t-shirts. So I'm looking for 2, 8. Then I'm looking for 5, 20. Then I'm looking for 10, 40. But I'm noticing that I do have 10 on my x-axis, but I'm not going to have 40 on my y-axis. That's okay. You could draw a larger coordinate plane if you'd like. For me, I know that I can still make a line with just 2 of the points. And you're going to learn that when you're in 7th grade. But basically, you just need 2 points to make a line. Gotta make sure it's straight though. And my line is definitely not straight. I told you I'm really bad at lines, guys. Oh, why is this coming out so ugly? Last try. See, it's because I didn't have art class when I was in school, all right? So you guys better be paying attention to Ms. Bowen. She'll teach you how to make straight lines. And I'm just going to label that my t-shirts. All right, and let's go ahead and get started with the water bottles. So I'm going to graph, actually let's do that in a different color. 2, 4, 5, 10, 10, 20, and then 15, 30 you wouldn't be able to see on this coordinate plane. Again, you can draw a larger coordinate plane if you'd like. If not, don't worry, you can make your line with what you have. And I will attempt this line again. Oh, I think I have a thing over here that can make straight lines. Alright, that's as straight as it's going to get for me. Sorry, guys. Okay. All right, and they're asking us now to compare the cost of the t-shirts and the water bottles. You can look at your graph and clearly see that the t-shirts cost more. I'm looking at the graph and I clearly see like this t-shirt line. Ooh, I didn't label the water bottles. This t-shirt line, it's getting to higher numbers on the y-axis. And I know the y-axis is representing my money and my x-axis is representing my number of items. The water bottles, if you haven't noticed, they're not going up as quickly. To make my statement, I'm mostly going to be comparing the tables though. And I'm going to compare when they have the same number of items and how much money they're going to spend. So let's get started on that statement. I notice that no matter how much of each item you buy, the t-shirts will always cost more. If you also haven't noticed, I'm looking at the t-shirts versus the water bottles. When the t-shirts cost $8, the water bottles were $4. When the t-shirts cost $20, the water bottles cost $10. Each time the t-shirts are actually double the price of the water bottles. So let's go ahead and put that in our written statement. The t-shirts are double, right? Or you could put 2 times as much the price of the water bottles. And you can even give an example. For example, when you were buying 2 t-shirts versus the 2 water bottles, you spent $8 for the t-shirts and you spent $4 for the water bottles. So you spent twice as much for the t-shirts.